Hey you guys, today we are going to be making some homemade sauerkraut, and I'm not pointing the camera at my face because I want you to be able to see everything that I'm doing. I'm just gonna take off the outer layer because the one that I got at the store was just kind of icky. I think it was like the last one on the shelf. You can absolutely use this layer, or some people will fold it up and put it on top to make sure that your shredded cabbage is completely submerged and moist. We're just gonna throw that away today. So I've got my cutting board here, and then I have my new Santoku knife here, and I'm just gonna cut the core out. I guess. Snooky. So this is really hard, so I'm just not going to use it. Okay. And I'm just going to cut really thin ribbons here. There is a measuring thing if you want to use that. I'll probably do about 1/4 inch. You always want to make sure you curl your fingers and use those as a guide for your knife. Is what they taught me in cooking school. Okay, and so I'm just gonna leave my pieces long because they will shrink, and I like a longer sauerkraut. I just recently got into sauerkraut. My husband loves it, but your taste buds change every 7 years. So I thought I'd give it a try, and lo and behold, I like it now. These ones are a little longer. I think I'll cut them in half. This knife is very sharp, so you want to make sure you know where all your fingers are at all times. You are probably thinking that my jar is getting very full, but cabbage will lose a lot of its volume as it salts. This core part, I'm going to cut both ways because it twists and turns and it's so compact, so I don't want any like massive clumps here. Okay, so that's it with the knife. No more knife. Put it away from your toddler hands because my boy is standing down here and is just grabby. So, sauerkraut is super simple, and you can do whatever variations you want. Today, you just need some kosher salt. If you use regular salt, you want to use a little bit less. I have a ginger and lime infused salt that I made with essential oils. I'm going to use that today. It's going to be more like a kimchi, but I know we will love it. So that's what we're gonna do today. Oh, we got helping hands. Look at those. Ooh, yeah, put it in there. I underestimated how much cabbage we're gonna have. So we're gonna do this first step in a bowl. You want to use glass because if you use metal, you're going to get that metallic taste on your cabbage. A jar is a good idea because you need a weight, and if you use a bowl, you have to use more weights. So this, we'll put the end product in here, and I'm gonna use this granite mortar and pestle as my weight. Then we're just gonna take this salt. You need about 2 teaspoons. I'm just gonna shake it over. I probably have more than 2 teaspoons, but here we are. Now you're gonna massage the salt into your cabbage and you're gonna let it sit 5 or 10 minutes, and that's gonna draw moisture out, and you will get, you'll see in a minute. All right, we will be right back. Okay, so it's been about 5-10 minutes and you can already see that the cabbage has lost quite a bit of volume. It's not over top of the bowl anymore. And you can see that it's kind of wet. I hope you can see it's kind of wet. And that is just the moisture coming out of your cabbage. Cabbage is like something along the lines of like 85 or 90% water. So when you put the salt on there, it's gonna draw the water out. It's gonna break down the cabbage. And when the vinegary taste of sauerkraut is not from actual vinegar, it is fermented cabbage. So you only need those 2 ingredients. You need cabbage and you need salt. You can add other flavor components. You can use purple cabbage, you can use carrots, you can put a couple sliced beets in there. There are lots and lots of things that you can do with sauerkraut, but today we're just gonna do a basic sauerkraut because I wanna be able to use it on a lot of different things. We like the regular cabbage. So we've let this set, we've muddled it with our hands. You wanna kind of just massage that salt, make sure it gets all in there, and that'll help it wilt down so that you're not struggling to get it in your jar. So we'll take our jar here. You can use any glass container. I recommend one that's a little taller, that has a narrower face, whatever your weight is going to fit in. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be using this mortar and pestle as my weight. So I needed something with a bigger jar, a mouth. So this is not a traditional mason jar. I honestly don't know where I got this jar. I think I used it at my wedding. Dollar store? Try the dollar store. You can use those beautiful jars with the flip top lids. You know, those are great. Don't put water in there. That's not cool. Okay, so sorry, I got a phone call. My last video was interrupted, but we have all of our cabbage shoved in our glass jar. We have our weight down on top. You can see there's already some liquid. I don't know if you can see. There's already some liquid forming on the bottom. Over the course of the next 24 hours, you're going to keep pushing this down. If your weight doesn't cover your whole jar, you want to put like some cheesecloth or a coffee filter or something over top so air can still get in, but so that little particles can't. And you're going to let this ferment at room temperature for 3 to 16 days. The longer you ferment it, the softer it will get and the more twang it'll get. So it all depends on your preferences. If you prefer a crispier sauerkraut, you can have it be done after 3 or 4 days. But just taste test and it'll be awesome. When you are done with your sauerkraut, throw a lid on it, put it in the fridge. Be cold will stop the fermentation process. At the end of 24 hours, if your cabbage is not submerged in water, you're going to want to or submerged in fluid, you're going to want to top it with some water so that all of your cabbage is covered. If any is poking out, it might have the tendency to mold, and you don't want that. If you do happen to get a little bit of mold on it, you can just kick that piece out. You don't have to toss your whole batch unless the whole thing smells funky. Use your judgment, people. Yeah, and have fun. Enjoy your sauerkraut.